Shalom, family. It's good to see you all. We're just going to give it a few minutes for more people to come in, and then we'll get started. I got something that I just want to discuss with you briefly, and something that may be helpful to you, especially if you're going through some things on your job. Because with us, you're not going to meet many of us that have not experienced some form of workplace racism. If you live long enough and you're out there working, it's going to hit you one way or another. These people do not change who they are because they're on a job. In fact, they'll more likely will be worse on that job than they would be on the outside of the job, because they know most of the employees are going to look like them. The manager more likely is going to look like them, and they can get away with a lot of things that they really shouldn't get away with at all. All right. So I just want to tell y'all about something that happened to one of my cousins. And I just got off the phone with them recently, and they won a case of workplace discrimination. And I actually helped him nab the people that were doing this to him. Back in, it must have been about 2016, 2017, one of my cousins was working. He worked inside of a cubicle every day, and it was a bunch of cubicles all around him. And someone was leaving racist notes on his desk. And he went to report it to the boss, and he said the boss always acts stupid. I said, that's because your boss is in on it. A lot of times, these folks that are doing these things to you can be elusive, ladies and gentlemen, because your boss, your manager, your supervisor is providing the perpetrator with your comings and goings on the job. They're in on it. Don't look at that stupidity as, oh, well, maybe they don't know. No, they do know. That's the indicator right there. When they play dumb, right there, they know. Who knows better your comings and goings on a job than your manager? I was a manager. I knew when my people came and went. I knew when they were staying late. I knew when they came in early. I would have all that information about them. So when these people are elusive, they're elusive because the boss, your supervisor, your manager, director is telling them when the best time to come in and do these things to you. That's where it's coming from. So 9 times out of 10, they are very much in on this. Okay, they are. They don't want you. When they do stuff like that, they don't want you on the job. They're trying to force you out. And many of these bosses, deep down inside, they don't like you and they don't want you there. So they'll gladly join in with the perpetrator to try to squeeze you out. That is the real reality right there. That's why a lot of times Black people will be on jobs and they'll start ganging up on you. Everybody is treating you rotten because they all planned it out. It's not happening for no reason. So my cousin knew I was into IT, and he said, what can I do? And I said, you can catch the whole thing. I said, get a small surveillance camera that will work with your phone, where, with software where you can log in and see what's going on when you're not there. And I said, put the camera in a place where they won't even notice. They won't even know it's there. So I said, once you set it up, just put like a piece of electrical tape, especially if it's black, over the glowing green light, the indicator light. And they will walk in that office and won't even see nothing because nothing is glowing. And I told him, I said, practice setting this thing up at home. Just, just set it up at your house and take it down, set it up until you can do this so fast that nobody is going to even notice that you got the camera in there. So that's what he did. And I told him, I said, "You'll catch what's going on. Just don't tell nobody. Don't talk to nobody because right now you can't trust anyone on that job." So not only did he catch the perpetrator was a white male, and it was somebody that spoke to him every day like he liked him. And I told him the manager was in on it. They went in the office, and what they were doing is putting these racist notes right on his desk. And he got them on camera laughing and carrying on in his cubicle and putting the note there. And I told him, I said, "Your manager knows what's going on." The manager was right there in the cubicle with the perpetrator. See, I know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay. So, and the good part is he recorded the manager in a conversation on his phone, you know, and they didn't know they were being recorded, but they were recorded. And the manager was sitting there saying, "Oh, geez, I don't know what's going on. Oh, when did this start happening?" And all that, playing dumb. But it was very clear when he caught them on that surveillance camera he had in his cubicle. That manager knew exactly what was going on, but played dumb with him. And when somebody plays that dumb, they know everything that's going on. So it took all this time, but my cousin was able to settle that case. He was so happy. And the manager and the guy that was putting the notes in his cubicle both got fired. When the owner found out what happened, when they got hit with the papers from my cousin's lawyer, he fired them. But it was like too little, too late. The damage was done. My cousin had endured this. He was going through this for a few months before he even reached out to me because he was like, "I don't know what to do. I want to catch him, but I don't know what to do." So, you know, um, I'm just so glad. Just think, ladies and gentlemen, just think about this. A lot of times when people think they're outfoxing you, in a sense, they're not. All you got to do is just stop and start thinking about everything. You can come up with a solution on how to shut these people down if you really truly want to go that extra mile. Unfortunately, unfortunately, too many of our people will get intimidated and they'll just leave or they'll back off or feel or they'll just stay until they eventually get fired because that's the end goal. If you don't leave, see these people when they do this stuff to you on the job, they're trying to get you out of there. If you don't leave, then they're going to come up with a way to fire you. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So, yeah, August Dream, I'm happy for his victory too. I'm glad he just sat and endured this until it was finally, um, decided. But, he was saying the owner did apologize to him. He said he had no idea. And he probably didn't because this owner, um, the business was here, but the owner was I think he was in either Georgia or Florida. He was down south. So he was not physically there every single day. But like I said, he did fire them and he did apologize. But my cousin said, "Look, I put up with this for months. I just can't drop it. I can't drop it." He said, "I want justice for what happened to me." And he did get it. He did get it. But he's not at that company anymore. He long left, but he's stuck with his suit. And I'm just saying to you, there is a way to catch these people that are doing this stuff to you. Just always know that. Mhm. Boy, I wish we were in a world where we could just go to our jobs and just do our jobs and leave. But these folks, they got to do all kinds of extra shit. They just got to always do all kinds of extra shit that has nothing to do with their job. And if anybody is goofing around on the job, it is definitely them. I know that as a manager. They are the ones that are the goofballs and doing all kinds of shit on jobs that should not be done. But if everybody looks like you and the manager looks like you, they're not going to do nothing about it. They're just going to try to overlook it or act like it's no big deal. But nobody deserves to be harassed on a job because of your skin color. That is just absolutely asinine. It's dumb. It's dumb. None of us should have to endure that crap. Mhm. And we got to do the same thing with our children. A lot of them are being harassed at school. And sometimes, some of our kids are bright. They record these conversations. I've done some stories on black children that will turn on them phones without a teacher or student knowing, and they'll record everything. Some of our kids are that smart. They know what to do. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And see, a lot of people are not even, that's why I'm saying y'all focus on the perpetrator, but you're not focusing on the ones that are providing the perpetrator with information about you. And you can best believe not only do those bosses give up your schedule to the perpetrator, they've probably given them your personal information, your home address, your phone number. These people are really devious like that. They are. Trust me, that perpetrator got more information about you than you will ever know. And it's because of that boss or supervisor that's around you. Yeah. Yeah. What? Well, yeah. Hood mistress, reloaded, plain and simple. White folks are not entitled to know our business. Very true. You're just doing a job for them every day. That's it. All that other stuff, that's not even necessary. So I was so glad to hear that today. He waited so long for a solution. He really did. Mr. Pirate Brain said you can buy a point pen with a camera and microphone and put it on your desk or in your front pocket. Yes, you sure can. And not only that, Mr. Pirate Brain, you can even get the glasses now with the cameras built into it. And, they'll just think you got a pair of glasses on. You can get those too. Or you can get the lapel camera with a mic and just clip it onto your collar. You know, you can get that as well. Oh, okay. She Brew DNA. My job is a private company, and they fired 6 black temps because there were more of us than them. Well, that's going to happen anyway, She Brew DNA, because their population is negative. If you go and look at the recent census information, there's no growth in the white community as far as births. The growth is in the non-white groups. So ultimately, that will happen. You're going to have more of us than them on these jobs. And if you remember, I did a video back in July that said there were more Black people in America right now working than white people. And that would be true because most Black people, a lot of Black people have the essential jobs. working in a supermarket, working for the post office, um, and even restaurants. You know, a lot of us are in these businesses even before the pandemic. So ultimately, it's going to end up like that, whether they like it or not. How do you not deal with that when your group is not growing, but the other groups are? So I don't know what they're kicking people out for. This is their future. I need one of those cameras, Miss Ebiel said. These people aren't to be trusted. Yeah. You know, if you want to get one just to have it, and then when things get jumped off on your job, you know what to do. That's why I told my cousin, learn how to use that real good before you take it to the office and hook it up. Just learn how to use it at home. Just sit down and put it together and take it apart and keep practicing that until you can do it really quick. You know, you don't want to take a box, a camera and all that stuff to your job, you know, and make it very obvious. You don't want any indicator of what you're doing. Mhm. Okay, Stephen Hill said, "Yeah, I had people coming after me when I was working. I documented everything. They lied on me about everything, even having a gun, but I won. I was able to retire." There you go. There you go. You know, like I said, they're not that crafty at these things. You really can beat them. And one thing I can tell y'all too, around here, a lot of black people got those ring cameras. I notice a lot of our folks are hooking their homes up in their apartments with those ring cameras. Our people are becoming a lot more aware, and we know what we have to do. And I'm seeing them everywhere around here. A lot of people are putting, a lot of black folk are putting them suckers on their homes. They are. And I think I see it more now than ever before. But I'm glad that people are now realizing I can't just sit here and trust everything. I got to have me some, some backup. I got to get this on, but I'm glad to see that around me. I can see the cameras on there, and that's a beautiful thing. I'm glad our people are really waking up like that. Now they hate it. The cops and these people that don't like you, oh, they hate that you got the ring bell. Oh, they hate it. They don't like that at all. They feel you shouldn't have nothing up there at your house. But no, get it. Even if you don't have one now, maybe, during one of their Christmas sales or Cyber Monday, you can nab one for like 40, 50% off. Just get it. They're not hard to hook up either. They're very easy to hook up. So even if you don't have one, think about, putting a little bit of money aside to get one. Yeah, I mean, posthumous, um, I itinerant. Yeah, I mean, people can do all kinds of things, but if you're using it every day, you can catch that mess. You can catch people hacking it. And, and do what you always do. Put VPN on and put on the protections that you need on your phone and have that running. You don't make it easy for them to do that. But that will happen, but that doesn't mean you don't get it at all and not know what's going on, especially if you're hearing commotion out in front of your house at 2 a.m. You'll be able to look right there on your phone without even going downstairs to see what's going on. Mhm. I mean, shoot, nowadays any device can be hacked. Your computer, your phone, any device can be hacked, not just your ring camera. That doesn't mean that should not deter you from getting a computer just because it can be hacked, or a cell phone, or even a camera. Mhm. Yeah, Dwayne, getting me a camera this week. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have it. It really don't. Uh, Vulcan 2050 full. I saw a beautiful video of Chloe Bailey on YouTube, and she said she uses sunscreen. Yeah, she sounds like she's brainwashed into believing that it's really doing something for her. It's not. Speaking of technology, Hood Mistress Reloaded, have you ever turned the tables on a cyber stalker? You know what? I never had to do that. Because I always keep my VPN on constantly on my computer and on my phone. And so far, nobody has ever gotten past it. The worst thing that's happening to me now is every now and then I get those spam calls, and they'll say something stupid to me like, "You haven't paid your student loan." I don't have no damn student loan. What the hell are you talking about? Or um your Facebook this and this and this, and I don't even have Facebook. All right. And I'll get those stupid things every now and then. And, working with Verizon, they have helped me tremendously cut down on those phone calls. Because at one point in time, they were like coming like you couldn't believe, but now they sparingly come. So it's not quite as out of control as it used to be, but that's about it. Okay, Hood Mistress Reloaded. I'm in that situation, but a little different. Dealing with a racist stalker on Twitter. Okay, yeah, well, unfortunately, social media allows a lot of things when it comes down to us. But if you were stalking him, they would have knocked you off of Twitter already. And we know that. We know that. If y'all haven't listened to the whistleblower for Facebook, try to listen to some of it. You don't have to listen to the whole thing, but listen to some of it. When she was talking, a lot of the things she was talking about people being bullied, and these big tech companies are not doing anything to shut it down, and people are being harassed all over these social media platforms. It's everything we have spoken about. She was sitting there on Capitol Hill telling the Senate, and it was really a good testimony, but it's things that we already know, things that we already know and have experienced. And she was talking about how she was harassed and was not getting any help at all. So it's good. Now, her testimony was good, but we'll see what kind of impact it will have on social media. And of course, Facebook and Instagram and all of them, they're trying to counteract everything that's going on. It's ridiculous. It really, truly is. But many of these social media giants have been untouchable for a long time. They have. So we'll see if that's going to make a difference. Usually if it comes out of their mouth, they will jump up and act. When it comes from us, it'll just get ignored. Yeah, post hummus. You know what? I was reading Snapchat had a major outage. I think yesterday, because the day before it was Facebook. They were down most of the day, and then Snapchat, I think Bank of America, and a few other big tech companies were down yesterday. They had major outages. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, for some reason, y'all, I just could never warm up to Facebook. I I could never the whole time I had my account, I could never warm up to Facebook. And I got rid of it in April of 2018 because I was hardly using it. I was not hardly going out there and using it. So I was like, well, what's the point of me having the account? I'm not going out there. Thank you, Lindell Moore, for the super chat. Love your content. Thank you so much. Mhm. Yes, Miss Ebby L, I did a video on that. I don't know if you got a chance to see it yesterday. I put out a video on Joe Biden, and they want to the IRS to have access to accounts with $600 in it, at least 600, which is absolutely ridiculous. And, I think this country is trying to clear up a debt. And I don't know. Maybe you agree with me or not. I don't know why we got to help them clear up a debt. You don't even treat us right in this country. Why do we have to help you clear up a debt? Okay. All of the people that you've been riding for, the Asians and everybody else, the immigrants, why don't you get your debt money from them? You're helping them the most. You don't help us at all. Why do we need to help you clear up debts? Man, get out of here. The way I see it, historically, because we built everything, we should not have to pay taxes at all. That's the way I see it. But let their debt money come from the people they're helping. These folks coming from the southern border and the Asians and everybody else that you helped out. Get your debt money from them. Thank you, Dee, for the super chat. Those Afghan immigrants are here. Get your ring cameras for sure. Love you, Lisa. Thank you so much for for that super chat. You're right. Yeah, the Afghans. Yeah, get. You got plenty of people that y'all help and support and go above and beyond for. Since those are the people that you choose to do for, tell them you're in debt and you need to clear it up. Get that money from them. What you coming to us for? Yeah, but you know what, Jet Black, you're right. You said I'm blocked on Twitter and I haven't been on Facebook, Fedbook, for years because of their racism. Yes, and you know what? You bring up a very, very good point. Black people can just make a comment about racism or support a black business, and you are in Facebook jail for that. When that whistleblower was talking, people are selling drugs on Facebook. People are doing all kinds of illegal activity on Facebook, and those people have been up for years undisturbed. I did a video, it probably was like back in 2019, where it was tons of dealers selling opioids to people on Facebook. Drug activity, heavy drug activity. And from what I'm understanding, that heavy drug activity is still going on. They're selling fentanyl on Facebook. But if you express yourself about things going on, you go to Facebook jail? I mean, come on. What the hell does that tell you? So their concern is what we're saying and what we're expressing about a police shooting or the day-to-day racism or us being harassed in a store or walking down the street. So if we comment about that, we're bad people. But the people that are dealing drugs all over Facebook, they're okay. Okay, that should tell you Facebook is full of shit right there. That should tell you right there they're full of shit. You know, a lot of that is coming out. And of course, you got Zuckerberg trying to play silly, like, oh no, it's not like that on here. Look, fool, you probably ain't even on your own platform, hardly. You don't really need to be. But the people that are there day in and day out, they know what's going on out there. They do. Yeah, that's how it is. They do that over here on YouTube too. Hood Mistress Reloaded. You said they'll throw you in Twitter jail too for defending yourself against a racist. Yeah, and they do that on YouTube too. They do that on YouTube as well. If you try to defend yourself, they will, you know, instead of getting the perpetrator off, they'll get the victim off. That's how they do it. Oh, no, the drug activity on Facebook has been going on for years, y'all. That didn't just start beginning now. That was going on even back when I had a Facebook account. It was heavy activity. And these people were dealing the drugs out in the open. They weren't even trying to be discreet about it. They were doing it right out in the open for everybody to see. Thank you, Thunder, for the super chat. I always wanted to know who is all that money owed to and what happens if the US doesn't pay. Are they coming to collect? And if so, who's that strong? Hey, you make a good point. Well, we're divisive because we're talking about what they are doing to us. So that automatically makes us divisive. That's why I don't take nothing like that to heart. I don't take it to heart because I know why it's being said and I know the person saying it is full of crap. That's why I don't take it to heart. That's why when I told y'all, when they come around to call you a racist, just blow it off. Just disregard it. We haven't done the things that they have done to us. So, I mean, don't take it with a grain of salt and just know we haven't done even a fraction of what these folks have done up in here. That's why I just dismiss it altogether. Just because somebody says something to you, it doesn't mean you have to accept it. Just always know that. You know, so if somebody wants to come around and tell you you're full of hate, you're not full of hate just because you're talking about the things that impact Black people. That doesn't make you hateful. That's garbage. Oh, okay, Hood Mistress. You said Queen. Oh, I think you mean Queen Amadaya. Yeah, I'm aware of the fact that she was stalked. And all right, so he was sick. He's the same person stalk you too. Usually that's what they do. A lot of times if you are being harassed, that person is making their rounds on multiple Black channels and doing the same thing. Y'all remember Oxyman, right? Oxyman he was not only over here all the time, but he was also over there doing the same thing to Vicky Diller. Okay, he was doing the same thing over there that he was doing over here. So it is very common for them to just jump from channel to channel doing the same exact thing to other Black YouTubers. That's usually what they do. Joseph Washington, thank you for the super chat, says, thanks to you and other channels in the new Black media, I have been able to keep it pushing every day. Oh, well, thank you. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I saw him on other channels, and that's not the only one. I think he was also on Seiji Hito channel, but that's really the norm. They just go hopping from one black channel to the next. That's what they do. It kind of makes you wonder what kind of existence does this person have to be sitting around doing this kind of stuff day in and day out on YouTube. You know, I look, I wouldn't waste my time going to a white channel and just doing a fraction of that kind of stuff. It's dumb. If I got an issue with you, why would I sit around listening to you? That's the last thing. That's the last thing I want to do. The only lioness said, always thought there had to be ways they were making money other than ads when they have a free product with billions of members. Glad she testified. Yeah. Thank you for your comment. Oh, yeah. One time they were watching me even when I was a manager. One time I had sent a friend of mine had emailed me, you know, and I emailed her back, and it was nothing controversial. It was just two friends just talking through email. Do you know one of the white guys in my office actually practically came in my face and repeated my email to me? And I'm looking at him. I was like, "Is that what y'all do? You sitting up here snooping on the black people on the job like that?" After that, he ain't never come back to say another word to me. But that just go to show you, even when you think they're not watching, they will go above and beyond to watch black employees, even if you're a manager or supervisor. This is done on jobs everywhere across America. You will ultimately be watched more than anyone else in that office. But yeah, they even snoop on you then. And it's not nothing but innocent interactions. The only thing they were asking us not to be on the internet a lot. You can do light surfing, but not to spend your whole day with the internet up, and that should be common sense to anybody that got a job. Mhm. Daughter of Zion 74, thank you for the super chat. I find it very interesting that the government is having a hard time with the debt ceiling when all they have to do is cut the check. Thanks, sis Lisa, for all you do. My husband and I love your work. Thank you so much. And I hope your husband and you are always blessed. Um, oh, why Lumbo, Daggoat, you said, just left Roland Martin's channel, got a stalker, always spying, pledge allegiance, tag. Yeah, I mean, that's what they do. That's what they do. And Roland is probably more in agreements with those kind of people than we would be. Hmm. So, I mean, look. Well, you know what the problem is, Tanya E. You know what the problem is? The system was corrupt from the start, and they never were able to get it together in all of these centuries of having a monetary system. If you got all kinds of corruption, then it can never be right. So it wouldn't even matter if you tear the whole thing down and built it back up. If you still got those same people in place when it's corrupt, it's just ultimately it's going to end up corrupt again. So they can't get it together because nobody can really trust anybody within their group. Somebody is always robbing, stealing, um, or they are always with their hands in the system doing all kinds of crooked things. And their solution is whenever they don't have enough money now, because, America's heavily in debt and the pandemic has been a major downfall for them. Now they're looking to be rescued from the very people they cut off from unemployment. They are treating like trash out on these jobs, the very same people that they have screwed over out here for a long, long time. Now they're looking to those people to help them out with their debt. I mean, look, if you can't even get people working anymore, that should be a clear indicator they ain't looking to help your ass. And I think that is a hard pill for them to swallow. It's a hard pill because they never had this kind of problem happening. People were gladly getting up, going to work, even if they didn't like their jobs, they were getting up and going to work and doing their jobs every day. Now you can't even get that out of a lot of people now. Many people are fed up. Like I told y'all, when I do these labor shortage, work shortage type videos, when I look in the comment section, I see a lot of people with grievances, and I'm looking at some women were talking about how their boss touched them inappropriately. They went to HR and reported, and nobody did a thing. Or and then there are black people talking about the racism on their jobs, or some people just in general, they just had a crappy pecan boss that was dogging them out every single day. And now the tide has turned. Look, I did a story, I think it was back in July, and people were saying they would rather go in debt than go back in the workplace. I never in my lifetime thought I would see people say those sort of things, but this is what they're saying now. And instead of taking heed and saying, okay, people aren't getting out here. There's a reason for this. What can we do as businesses to make things better for the American people so people can return back to work? You notice they're not saying that? We'll give you $1 more. But what is $1 more when you got inflation out here? The inflation is going to eat up that extra dollar you're getting. So they're not having the right conversation. That's why things aren't moving. They're not having the right conversation. Their conversation is the people that didn't get the jab seen. Oh, people don't want to work. They're lazy. They were on unemployment. They're not having the right conversation. They're not. They're willfully neglecting the fact that many of these businesses have not done well by their employees. And that's a topic they're going to continue to avoid. You know why? Because that shows and proves the failure that their system really truly is. They don't want their failure on the world stage, although it really is there anyway. It's there anyway. We're all seeing the failure. I have seen so many articles where people will say they will get sick and show symptoms while they're working. They'll tell their boss, I need a few days off to get better. And while they're off, they get fired. That's what's going on now, y'all. You try to take a day off because you just got knocked down and you're feeling symptoms, they are going to fire your ass in many cases. That's what they will do. So, on top of all the resignations and people retiring, you got people losing jobs. Look, I looked at the online papers, and this morning, yesterday, New York fired 1,400 hospital workers because they still did not get the jab seen. They let them go yesterday. 1,400 people. So America always had an issue with how they treat people. We may not all be on the plantation anymore, but their minds are still on that plantation. And therefore, they think they can do and say anything to you. Or you get sick and they won't accept the fact that you're sick and they fire you for that. How do you fire somebody because they got sick and there's a pandemic going on? Are you for real? But there are people out here doing that though, y'all. Well, the governor is expecting the National Guard to pick up the slack from all the people they're letting go. They're letting a lot of people go, and they're about up in New York, they're about to go after the teachers next. And I heard it's not going to be too long before they start kicking teachers out of their jobs. So they're just starting with the hospitals, but that is eventually going to move to the teachers. Now, the teachers were able to get an injunction from a judge to stop a lot of it, but they're going to move forward with that stuff, y'all. They are. They're going to move forward with it. I mean, to me, this is the worst time to terminate people when you got such a shortage in the country. Does that even make sense? But this is what they're doing. That's why I'm starting to believe they're purposely trying to tank this economy, because the decisions that have been made over the last 18 months have been, at this point, I think my cat Loretta can make better decisions on what to do. I really do. I think she can make better decisions at this point. But we have seen probably the worst decision making I have ever seen in my lifetime over these past 18 months, for real. Yeah, yeah. And that's why I'm saying, are y'all purposely trying to tank things and believe you can just start everything over again and remain in charge? That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. That's why in 2019, when we got past the 400 years, everything started tanking right away for America. Everything started tanking right away. That's not a coincidence. I mean, and that's biblical prophecy that their time of rulership would be over in 400 years. It's over. That's why everything is falling apart and they can't seem to get a grip on anything. And it's going to continue it, as we go through these next few years, it's going to get worse and worse. And they are under this false sense that they're going to be raptured away. That's not even biblical prophecy. Okay, so now you're just making stuff up. That's not you being raptured and everybody else being left here. That is not even in the Bible. Gentiles are not going to be raptured away. Your ass is going to sit here and watch this place fall. Okay, you can come back in 2022 and we can have this conversation again, but because your ass will still be here. Count on it. Yeah, they teach that mess in their churches. Um Danielle Meyer, thank you for the super chat. B1, shalom, Miss Lisa. The thought of going back to the workplace makes me nauseous. And them using the National Guard for everything is going to backfire. Yes, you can't spread your military thin. And now also, Danielle, you can find articles out there. They're going to the different military branches for their nurses to get them in the hospital. Nurses that should be serving the veterans are going to be in civilian hospitals helping out. I mean, that's not what your military is for. But as you can see, even in the medical profession, they are screwing people over. Folks want more money. They're putting themselves on the front lines every day. They want more money. And that's a fact. Mhm. Like, they're not gonna be able to do nothing, they're not gonna be able to do nothing with those immigrants other than take care of them, y'all. I was reading some of those immigrants got a second grade education. They can't come here and do many of these jobs that Americans did. If you can barely read and write, yeah, you might be able to give them some physical labor, but anything beyond that, what are you really going to give a person like that? And it's not like it's just a handful. It's like the vast majority of them coming across that border did not go beyond elementary school. So how are they going to replace people here? And if you think they can replace us, then explain, why is there a worker shortage going on with millions of immigrants sitting in this country right now? If they were the answer, shouldn't they be filling the jobs right now? And America should not be worrying about anything? No, you're just bringing people over here and they're just going to drain the system. They're not taking these jobs, so what else are they doing? They're draining your damn system. That's what they're doing. MC2, the X project, the time of the wicked is coming to an end. We can just sit back and wait for the Most High to deal with them utterly and completely. Amen. Yeah, Miss Abiel, I did see that. Yeah, they're giving all kinds of money to the Afghans that flew here, and they got more coming at the end of the year. I think by December they're bringing thousands more over here. Janesta Coleman, thank you for the super chat. Hello, Miss Lisa Cabrero in the chat room. Shalom to you. Well, they don't like the Haitians. Remember, the Haitians defeated them, and they have not been able to let that go ever. So they don't care about them suffering. That's why they spoke the way they did when we all those pictures came out of them getting whipped by these agents on horseback and all that crap. They don't care what happens to those folks. But see, we as Black Americans, we've been trying to tell them that for many years. They don't value you over us. They're going to treat you like crap too. But I think many of them did not want to believe that. They believe it now, but they did not want to believe that before. They thought they were other when they came up in here. They thought they were other. No, your ass ain't other. You ain't other nothing. All right, y'all. I do really have to cut out of here. I just wanted to share that information with you. And just know, we just always got to be prepared, because as you can see, what's going on has defeated America. America is truly defeated now. They are defeated by an illness. They are defeated by an illness. Nobody had to raise a hand. Nobody had to shed blood. None of that had to happen. None of that had to happen. And look at the short period of time it happened in, 18 months. So please enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll definitely come together and do this again real soon. Shalom, family.